Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. With that, we send you up to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Standing by our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today we've got a matchup here in pivotal Week 7 between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. Orchestrating the offense will be Case Keenum, the 6'1 QB out of the University of Houston.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Now a play fake here on first down. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
But we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
They'll run it now out of the gun. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down. And let's take a look at the Bears offense.
And wide receiver Tyler Lockett continues to improve as a route runner and a playmaker downfield. But let's not forget his main use, kick returner. He knows how to break open a game in that area as well.
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Here's J.K. Scott now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. Let's take it inside his own 40.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
They knew they were going to have great field position. Went all out, got a little too aggressive.
And you have to understand your angles. They'll cut down when they're that backed up. You've got to be careful going after him.
So a big break. The roughing the kicker called on fourth down leads to 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. This is how they will line it up defensively for Minnesota. They come into this one ranked number 5 in the NFL against the run.
Numbers don't tell you everything, but they do paint a pretty good picture. We're talking about 2 top 5 units going at each other. One in running the ball, one in stopping the run. I think this is going to be a whole lot of fun myself.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Keenum going to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Burton. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And out will come the offense as they take over. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Jackson on first down. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 42 yards.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
That's to the right side, complete to Kittle. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
That one goes for 16 yards. It sets them up first and goal.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, that has to be pinpoint.
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Saquon Barkley with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. They fake the handoff. Now Keenum. He's going to go for a bit. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. So possession changes hands on the final play. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They take over 1st and 10 up near midfield. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Jackson. Left side caught by Diggs. And he takes this thing way down into Chicago territory. A big play there for Minnesota. 41 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like...
And it'll be intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they'll throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
And now Now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now, and I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
And this really is a good defense because what they've done is focus on stopping the running game and being physical against it.
And the numbers, they really bear that out. They're currently 5th in the National Football League in rushing defense. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative. But you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and set them down.
The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Sometimes it pays to be lucky rather than good. That was not even the intended receiver on that pass.
But still able to haul it in for the reception. Here's J.K. Scott now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10.
No. Check. Patriot. Over.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Watch him now, Barney. Check.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
That's a football play right there. That takes me back a little bit. Toss sweep to the right, get it to your back, get a lot of people out in front, control the line of scrimmage, wide receivers blocking downfield. It almost feels like half the crowd is in front of him, getting it down to the secondary. They have a tough time getting him down.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
A 1st down carry for Barkley. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He lost 6 there on the 1st down play.
Khalil Mack's starting to get a really big-time reputation as a pass rusher, and rightly so. So explosive off the edge, getting to the quarterback. But he doesn't neglect his run duties as well. How about that tackle right there? Such a package he has, able to play the run and the pass so well.
The toss out to Barkley, and there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays.
All right, now, lucky 56.
From the gun, Jackson. Hill shedding the tackle. He is going to find Hill here. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary. Figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
They'll run with Cook. And they'll go backwards here. Losing yardage to the 14. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. It's second and goal, but now all the way back at the 14.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19. Watch it now, Barney.
He's going to get it running right. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play, as we'll get a timeout. As they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. They've been stuffed twice here for losses. Now it's third and goal. From the gun, it's Jackson. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
They're just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Carlson now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. So the second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And he gets it to the 30-yard line, but the football's not going to stay there. There's a penalty marker down.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
So that will push him back.
And now we know why I have a little extra space to run, don't we? The legal block in the back, that penalty will move them back.
So the special teams penalty costs some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It's a gain of 7, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
They'll run for it. Cook. Take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They'll go to Barkley again. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. Kyle Fuller, the one to make the tackle.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
On third down, that's Cook. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to bring up a fourth down. Now, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3.
Leopard! Over!
They run it again with Cook. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
No. Check. Patriot. Watch him now, Barney.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Watch him now, Barney.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
On third down, that's Franklin. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll bring up fourth down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis as we are set to bring you the home stretch here, the fourth quarter. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. The Vikings unable to convert here on fourth. And this defense will take over right at midfield. And I am not sure, partner, there what the mindset was to go for it. I don't know.
And some teams just feel that possession is the key to everything. They just want to have the football in their hands. No matter how it goes to the other team, they just don't trust doing that. So they say, listen, go for it and try and finish it ourselves.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But the Bears look to get this one back, and indeed they did. So they'll keep possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Chicago. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Bears draw a bit closer. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Extra point attempt to follow here. Extra point splits the uprights. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the end result is a Bears touchdown. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This is taken at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Here we go. 319. 319.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers. Fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Look at the dance and the juke. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. The Bears in good field position to start out 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Keenum. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Daniil Hunter in there yet again. What else is new as he continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. To throw, it's Keenum. And the pressure gets to him again. Daniil Hunter. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They face a critical 3rd down now, needing a score here in the late going. Back-to-back sacks have this place in a frenzy as they line up again 3rd and long now. On 3rd and long, it's Keenum. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, that's a perfect example of how he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's game. He is just all around the football right now, isn't he?
That he is, and it's funny because I talked with the coaching staff about drills that they do in practice, and one of them is called matching hands. And as soon as that hand is launched by the quarterback, you throw up the opposite hand and match that hand with the QB, and oftentimes you're able to knock it away as we just saw there.
Yeah, it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So now let's look at the situation. They do have all 3 timeouts remaining, so barring a first down, they could conceivably get the ball back.
So now it's all about defense and stopping the clock. Don't give up any yardage, right? Use your timeouts. And your offense always practices going downfield without timeouts. You know, those 2-minute drills, most of them are run in practice without the benefit of timeouts. They want to make it as tough a situation as possible. They're in it right now.
And he's going to bring this one down to right about the 20-yard line. Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. And now the Bears going to signal for another timeout, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. Now the Bears will use their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
No. Check. Patriot. Watch him now, Barney.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives them a 1st and goal.
Just keep the ball on the ground. Do a little pounding. Chew up some clock. If they can get it in, that might be enough to get them home. And if not, the clock is definitely their friend.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Carlson now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They go play action here on first down. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Keenum now. 5 straight completions here in this second half. First and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Keenum. Throw right side, taken in by Gallup. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Play action. It's Keenum. Oh, incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it there. And it'll be second down. Another incompletion with that one. He's just 7 of 14 throwing the football, 50%. Typically not going to get it done, is it?
And let's just make it simple. And that's exactly why they trail.
Keenum again here on second and 10. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him as the clock continues to roll. From midfield, here's Keenum. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off at the 20, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. This spot in the fourth quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
And now out comes Minnesota. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them.
It's caught inside the 25. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's first and 10 just outside the red zone. Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a pickup of 13, and with that 13 yards, this ball game just about over.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Jackson from the shotgun. And this is going to be intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And Charles, you know what coaches always tell us. We want to win our home games. That much we know. We want to protect our home turf. They got that done in this one.
Exactly right. When you start a season, everyone's goal, win all of your home games, split your road games, and you're likely going to be in the playoffs. But when you win at home, boy, what a great feeling that is. You don't even mind if people are at your house when you get home after a win like that.
So for Minnesota, their winning ways continue as they get it up to 7-0. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for Chicago, the loss drops them back to 4-3 so far. And they'll have a tough one at home next week against the Green Bay Packers.